Hi guys, Emily Stark here. I wanted to first introduce myself. I am a former Miss Colorado USA 1995. I went on and won Mrs. Colorado 2002. I have been a pageant coach for the last 25 years in the pageant industry, and I have been a director for the last 11 years for the Mrs. America system. And so I have been on all sides of the fence and know a handful and a ton. And so that's what I'm going to do, is share a few things with you today. And today's the topic that I'm going to talk about is 5 reasons why I won my state pageant. And these are key things that I think could help you as you prepare for your state pageant. The first one is know the expectations. What's expected of you? How is the scoring going to happen? So know the expectations. And so what I mean by that is, how are you scored? So 50% of your score is an interview. That's key. So you have to have a great bio. You have to look like the part, like you could go on the news the next morning, how you're dressed in that interview. The other 50% is on stage. So you need to know how to walk in heels. You do. You need to know how to have a pose at the end of the pageant. You don't want to just stand there with your hips directly straight onto the judges. You don't. You want to have that S-curve. You want to have a twist. So you want to learn the pageant walk, as that's 50% of your score. So know the expectations. How are you scored in the pageant so that you can succeed? That's the goal of it. In order for you to participate well, you need to know what's expected of you. The next one is finding your best me. And what I mean by that is, I found the best me. I can't be something I'm not, and I don't want to be. So the main thing is figuring out, who am I at this current season that I'm competing in? And what I mean by that is, who I was when I competed for Miss Colorado USA is very different than the person I was when I competed for Mrs. Colorado. So they're two different people based on the season of life. I was unmarried with no children, and when I competed and won Mrs. Colorado, I had identical 7-month-old twins when I signed up, and had a beautiful husband. So let me tell you, my seasons were different, my reasons were different. And so I had to figure out, who was I so I could present that to the judges. My best way of saying that to people is, think of yourself as a present or a gift that you are sharing with the judges. And so as you prepare for pageant weekend, you start to wrap your gift, and your gift can be this tiny, tiny, beautiful little blue box. And then you decide to tie on an iridescent silver ribbon, and it's got so much bow to it because that's you. And when you come pageant weekend and you've prepared this beautiful box that's blue with silver ribbon, and you start to bring it to the pageant weekend, don't look to the left and don't look to the right and compare what they have prepared for the judges, because she's going to have a big red rectangular box with, maybe she has silver ribbon, or maybe she has red ribbon, or maybe it's polka dots. The bottom line is, that's her best her. Bring your best me. And so that's one of the things, is I was very clear when I competed who I was in this current season of my life. So bring your best me. The next thing is, know and use the pageant established resources. The bottom line is, for example, I have been a pageant director for 11 years, and so I have resources. If you don't have a photographer, I have an amazing photographer. If you need a makeup artist, because most of us don't walk around and get their makeup done every day, so you may not even have the thought of a makeup artist, but I've got a handful in my back pocket that I want to share with you. The best way to look at this, actually, let me write this up here before I forget, is use established resources. So the best way to describe this in a very fun way is, say you're signing up for a triathlon and you need a bike. You don't go to Walmart to go get a bike that you're going to compete in a triathlon. You don't. You walk into Walmart and you go, there's all these bikes. There's tricycles, there's two-wheelers, there's dirt bikes, there's maybe a road bike. The problem is there's no one there to guide you. So you get to Walmart and you say, I just need a bike to compete in the triathlon. I don't think you're setting yourself up for success. And so that's key. When you use the Pageant resources that have been established, they know exactly what you need to bring your best you. If you went to our Pageant dentist, she has been in the industry and a sponsor of ours and part of our organization for 20-something years. She knows exactly what you need to bring your best smile to the Pageant weekend. So there's resources that are established with a Pageant, and it's to help you succeed. So I use the Pageant resources. It was easy for me to get the end product using these resources. The next one is clearly knowing, why me? Why would I make a great representative? Why would I be a good Mrs. Colorado or a great Mrs. Wyoming? Why me? And it has to be super clear on why. That's the beauty of doing things with kids and dogs. So I'm going to write this and hope she stops barking by then. So why me must be very clearly defined. It has to be clearly defined so that when you go in that interview, you can clearly explain it to them. Why choose me? Why would I be a great representative? And don't give them a fluff answer, okay? And the last one is, ask your director. If you are lost, if you're confused, my job as a director is to lead, guide, and be on this personal journey with you. I can clearly explain, here's what Pageant Weekend is going to look like. Here's how you are scored. Here's how you should prepare to give you the best results. And so ask questions. So questions. And don't get them answered by someone who participated in a pageant way back, Go to someone who can actually give you good resources, good information. Just because someone participated in a pageant doesn't make them an expert. I find that so funny when someone says, no, I'll just ask my girlfriend, she participated. The bottom line is go to people like the director that knows exactly what's going to happen that pageant weekend, so you get good, accurate information. One year I had a contestant say to me after the pageant, I worked so hard on current events and knowing what's going on in the community. Well, our interview is about you. What season of life are you in? What hats and roles are you wearing in your world? It's not about current events. So it made no sense to study that. You're going to know that by default because you're a good community member and citizen, but that's not what the interview would be about. And so it was heartbreaking to hear that she had spent all these months trying to give great opinions to different political things and ethical things and all these topics when that had nothing to do with how she was scored. That's where she missed the boat. So go to the resources that can truly help you, guide you, and lead you. And that's your director. And so that's going to sum it up for today. So that would be pretty much the 5 reasons how I won my state pageant, is knowing the expectations of the pageant, what's expected of me, how am I scored. I prepared the best me, and that's what I can bring to the table. I can't bring the best somebody else, and I don't want to. I was made uniquely me, and that's what I needed to bring to the table. I used the pageant established resources. They were professionals in the industry, and I knew that they could guide me safely in the right direction. I clearly knew, why me? Why should you select me as the next winner? It has to be crystal clear. And I did ask anytime I had a question. I called my director and got clarity. Go to the